Hello, my beautiful dragons. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Violetta Alexis. I do tarot and astrology on this channel, and I have created almost 900 videos. Before we get started, I do want to offer you guys this very special and limited opportunity. If you guys are interested in perks, or you are interested in becoming a more personalized part of my brand, or you're interested in making potential revenue off of my channel, and also interested in becoming part of my private Discord where you get to talk to me more personally, you can just go ahead and click the link below where it says become a more personalized part of my channel with Gigastar. So what we're doing today is we're doing pick a symbol or pick a card, where you are going to allow your intuition to choose for you with what symbol resonates with you the most. After you are done picking a symbol, I'm going to assign a deck to each symbol. Group 1, which will be the clock, group 2, which will be the telephone, and group 3, which is going to be the suitcase. I will have the timestamps below in the comment section, but I will also have them saved as chapters to make it super easy for you. I will be using tarot and my intuition to come up with a more personalized tarot reading for you in regards to where you're going to be at by next year in 2024. So without further ado, go ahead and take your time and allow your intuition to make the decision for you. If you chose the clock, then that means you are group 1. So let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, we have the Judgment, the Moon, the Ace of Wands, and the Knight of Cups. I'm sensing some kind of fear here, group 1, especially with that Judgment card in reverse. When the Judgment shows up in reverse, it's somebody that's afraid to bring something back. It's somebody that is afraid to own their authentic path, somebody who is afraid to maybe march out on a path that they never have before, or that they are afraid that they will be judged for. Maybe that's creativity with that Knight of Cups there. Maybe that's love with the Moon and the Knight of Cups there. Maybe it's something subconscious. The Moon sometimes can represent our fears and our inhibitions and what stops us from doing what it is that we're supposed to be doing. But I'm feeling this sense of something lighting up with the Ace of Wands. This is showing me that there's some kind of inspiration that you have, and it's coming from deep within. It's something that you need to trust. I feel like you doubt it, and it almost feels like you don't want to do it, but you need to trust that you can. You need to trust that you have the vigor, that you have the will, that you have the creativity, and you have the heart to do so. The theme for your reading is loosen your grip. This talks about coping mechanisms, density, addiction, and let God in. I'm getting the quote from Buddha, which he says, "We lose what we cling to." I feel like this is really about giving up control and also giving up some kind of fear and not judging yourself so harshly when it comes to the things that maybe you failed at before or you feel like you just didn't succeed at. With this oracle card underneath the Judgment in reverse, we do have Earth School. So this definitely talks about life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. I'm feeling like a lot of you are having a hard time learning to give up control and to be able to follow your true path, whatever that may be for you, whether it's business, whether it's creativity. Maybe some of you are poets, or maybe some of you are singers or actors, or you're just some kind of creative type that needs to implement creativity into your daily life, or maybe when it comes to a career. Maybe you feel inspired and you end up taking a hobby of yours or some kind of talent, gift, skill, or ability that you have and actually applying it to your everyday life. Once again, I do feel like there's some fear here, but with this Earth School card, excuse me guys, I stutter constantly, with this Earth School card, I definitely feel like this is you really needing and getting ready to own your own power and own your own path. The Judgment in the upright talks about us answering the call to walk our true authentic soul's path. And I feel like this is what you're going to realize. I kind of want to say, make sure that you take the opportunity before the opportunity takes you. And I'm not really sure what that means. I'm getting like a tower moment. Like if you don't choose this, this is destined for you anyway. And I think it's something where a lot of you are going to be able to inspire others when it comes to your creativity. Then underneath the Moon, we do have We the Hathors. So deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. So this is interesting because this is about femininity. This card talks about femininity, creation, birth, and this also talks about whatever you're about to put effort into, you need to trust it. You need to trust that the universe has your back with whatever this is. This is something like, maybe it's like I'm getting like a hidden talent for some of you, or maybe some kind of talent that you were afraid you were going to fail at. So maybe you just never tried. I'm really feeling like there's something here that you have to stop suppressing, group one. There's something that's been buried deep within you. I feel like it's something that inspires you. It's something that's very motivational for you, but it's something that you're actually going to have to go for. Another thing that I want to talk about is at the bottom of the deck, you have the Chariot and the Eight of Swords. So the Chariot talks about, even though I have a big fear to make a decision, or even though I have a fear to move forward, I'm still gonna do it. And the Eight of Swords is on top of that, group one. So it seems like you're really stuck. For some of you, you're afraid to challenge authority, or for others of you, you're afraid to venture off into something that you've never done before. And I feel like that's what's stopping you. But the Eight of Swords talks about self. It's self-imposed stagnancy. So a lot of you just need to kind of get over yourself, excuse me, but a lot of you guys just need to simply get over yourself and just move on and just do it, like Nike, right? So then here under the Ace of Wands, we have jump in. Exactly. So this card talks about, in this Oracle deck, it says don't wait for permission. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for mommy to tell you yes. Stop waiting for your partner to be okay with it. Just stop waiting. Stop being afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of when it comes to this thing, whatever it is. You know, they say that, I think it was Steve Harvey that told me, right? He told me personally. I think it was Steve Harvey where he said, your gift is what you do best with the least amount of effort. So I would definitely say, for instance, like mine is writing. I can write something in like 2.5 seconds and it's usually pretty good, right? So what is your thing? What is the thing that sparks you? What is the thing that feeds your soul at the end of the day? That's something that you're really needing to connect with, and you need to stop being afraid of this. You need to stop being afraid to answer the call, so to speak, because it's calling. Whatever it is, it's calling, and you just need to do it. And then you have here, then you have called. Okay, then you have called. So this talks about soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. So this is really, group one, about you essentially owning your power. This is not the time to be afraid. This is not the time to hide behind the curtain. This is the time for you to come out from behind the curtain and actually show yourself and share the gift that you have with the world, with your friends, with the community, with your parents, whoever it is, because there's something about you here that's getting ready to inspire people, maybe inspire the masses. I mean, you never know, right? I always say, like, if I was God and I said, whatever it is that you go out to accomplish, if I guarantee that you can succeed, what is the thing that you would do? Pick that and then go higher. So let's go ahead and start clarifying these cards. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Judgment. Tell me about the Judgment. There's nothing to be afraid of. I mean, it just feels like something that you're afraid that you're going to fail at. It's like you're afraid of failure or something like that. Now, I see the Seven of Cups in reverse. You know, there's nothing wrong with being realistic, group one, but sometimes we can be, and there's the Judgment in reverse again, but sometimes we can be so realistic about something that we end up not even being able to channel our own ego, because we do need our ego to get things done. Don't let all these spiritual people tell you the ego is bad. You need your ego regardless. Your ego is the reason you get up in the morning and you go to work and you do your thing and you look hot, right? Whatever the case is. And so this is telling you it's okay to live in a little bit of fantasy. Fantasy is ultimately what's going to get you there, and then it's going to be the hard work and determination and the lessons that you're bringing into whatever this is that's really going to bring you the most success, group one. I also want to say, I feel like, once again, like I said, with that King of Wands in reverse and that Judgment in reverse that's at the bottom of the deck, I'm really feeling like a lot of you are afraid of failure. You're afraid that you're going to look like an idiot, or you're afraid that nobody's going to care, or you're afraid you're going to get your feelings hurt, whatever it is. Guess what? When I started tarot, I didn't barely know what the hell I was doing, right? I did, but I didn't. I was terrified. I thought everyone was going to think I was a loser. And maybe some people did. Who cares? You know what I mean? Who cares? So it's one of those things where you really have to be able to push through whatever this is and not be afraid of it, because you're essentially doing it to yourself. You have to stop avoiding whatever this is because it's calling to you. So let's go ahead and clarify the moon. Can you tell me about the moon? Tell me about the moon card. You know, the moon also talks about, in tarot, the moon represents Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, which talks about acting, poetry. It can talk about film. It can talk about creativity. And so, you know, the moon also talks about needing to listen to your own internal voice, listen to your intuition on what is meant for you. I got 3 cards, so I'm just going to take it. That's really interesting with the Six of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Fool. You have the Knight of Cups here as well. And this is making me feel like, once again, move on from your fears. What comes before the Six of Swords is the Five of Swords. Maybe you're afraid of competition. That's fine. Competition is really the building blocks for what makes us stronger. If you can go against the grain, do something different. This is Uranus energy. Do something different. Do something different with your creativity. I don't know. Maybe you need to take an improv class. Maybe you need to stand up and do some spoken word. Whatever it may be. Maybe it's love for some of you. You know, maybe you're afraid to wake up and be vulnerable. And that's the thing is, when it comes to vulnerability, if this is something about love, well, that means that you have to have enough self-love to be able to implement strong boundaries and stick to those boundaries, even when you feel like you're desperate or you feel like you really, really want love or something like that. And keep in mind that we, the Hathors, with this specific card, group 1, this talks about creation and birth, and that it will work out, and you just have to trust the universe and ultimately trust yourself and trust your path. So then let's go ahead and take a look at this Ace of Wands. Can you tell me about this Ace of Wands for group 1? So this is really about jumping into something and just going for it, even if it frightens you. This is about being inspired and also doing the inspiring. So then we have the Judgment in reverse again, my goodness, and the Hierophant in reverse. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Wands in reverse and the Ten of Swords. So for some of you, this may be like you being afraid of some kind of unwanted attention. This may be you guys feeling like, okay, I don't want this attention. I'm too afraid to change. I'm too afraid to evolve. Well, this is the time. Don't let the Tower come in and make the decision for you. This is a time for evolution. This is a time for transformation. This is a time for change. This is not a time for you to be hiding behind the curtain. Six of Wands in reverse can represent somebody who's like hiding behind the curtain, somebody who doesn't want unwanted attention. But fortunately, you're going to have to come from behind the curtain. Your actual, why did I just heard Jessica Rabbit, one of Jessica Rabbit's songs in my head. Okay, so whatever, I don't know if you guys like Jessica Rabbit. I don't know, maybe you guys dressed up like her for Halloween. Maybe you're going to for Halloween. Okay, happy October. But there's something in regards to your soul's path where you have to stop being afraid of like shining your light on people, not to sound corny. With that Ace of Wands in reverse being clarified by the Judgment in reverse and the Hierophant in reverse, I noticed that you have a lot of repetitive cards. So you have the Knight of Cups twice, you have the Judgment in reverse twice. So this is about creativity. This is about you answering the call. This is about you answering. Pick up the freaking phone, group 1, right? Pick up the phone, do what it is you got to do, because there's something about your path that's calling you. And I feel like a lot of you guys just want to be stubborn. The Hierophant in reverse can be very stubborn. This goes against everything I know. Well, yeah, because I feel like it's supposed to, because you're supposed to learn something else. If you remember, you have Earth School for your first card, and this talks about soul lessons, soul growth, etc. And there's something that you're supposed to learn, because likely you're supposed to teach others in some way, whether that's just to be brave or, you know, adopt their own creativity, whatever it may be, excuse me. Let's go ahead and take a look at that Knight of Cups as well. Can you tell me about the Knight of Cups? I hope you guys don't mind the pink filter on here. I actually very much preferred it. I felt like the normal was so boring. So all right, so let's see. Wow, we have the High Priestess and we have the Three of Cups. That is clarifying the Knight of Cups card. So once again, We have a lot of Pisces energy here. We have a lot of water energy. This is all water energy. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Pisces, and then we have the Three of Cups, which is also water. So, you know, you guys, I feel like there's going to be somebody that you're going to be collaborating with. I think that you're going to have a lot of support. I feel like a lot of you, because you end up being your authentic self, you end up owning your creativity and you end up going for it, whether that's poetry, singing, acting, whatever it is, you're going to attract people that are authentic to your path. So it's like when we don't live in a place of authenticity, when we don't live in a place of who we truly are, we attract people that aren't naturally for us. And then depression starts to set in, anxiety, confusion, etc. So by you guys owning your path of creativity, of whatever it is, you're going to attract the right people. And once again, keep in mind that this called card is right under those cards. So this is you being called to do something, because I feel like you guys are going to meet people that are going to introduce you to the right people. Do you know what I'm saying? And the theme for your reading was loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, and let God in. So I feel like for a lot of you, work on your spirituality. That's the best thing that I can tell you. If you have any self-defeating tendencies, if you have any self-imposing habits, you know, if you guys don't have a day-to-day routine, you need to get on that. Make sure, I know it sounds stupid, but we don't realize, I'm hearing the 6th house now, the 6th and 12th house axis, where the 12th house can actually talk about creativity, but it's also where we self-sabotage. It's also where we go to let things go. And for a lot of you, it's going to be about you letting go of your fears. And the 6th house represents day-to-day routine, your work, your habits, all of that stuff, you know, taking care of you. And so we have no idea in reality how important these houses are. They're just like annoying houses in our natal charts. But honestly, the 6th house is so important because I feel like it trickles down to the rest of everything, right? Like if we're not getting a proper amount of sleep, we're not going to want to create anything. We're going to be too freaking tired. If we don't have a day-to-day routine, then we have no structure. If we have no structure, we have nothing that we can really build on. So I really feel like you guys are needing to work on your sleep, your day-to-day routine, and your true authentic nature when it comes to love and or creativity. All right, group 1, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and insert a little message here for you guys if you'd like to listen, and then we'll move on to group 2. Bye. If you are interested in becoming a more personalized part of my channel, or you're interested in my private Discord, make sure that you click the link below where it says become a more personalized part of my channel with Gigastar. And if you are interested in tarot decks, spell jars, and or crystals, you can visit my website at www.violettaalexis.com, where I also offer personal readings. And if you are not, make sure that you are following me on Instagram and Twitter. That information can be found down below. Hi. So if you picked the telephone, then this is going to be for you. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cards. All right, group 2. So what we have here, we have the Knight of Cups, the Temperance in reverse, the Lovers, and the King of Swords in reverse. To me, I hate to make this about love, but I definitely feel like it is, especially with that Knight of Cups and that Lovers. This makes me feel like there's something that you desperately want, or someone that you want, but you may feel like there's something off about it, or there's something sketchy about it, or something that doesn't really sit right with your soul. The Lovers here is telling me that maybe you're trying to be more high vibrational, or you are trying to act from your higher self, as opposed to allowing someone or something to pull you down in a negative vibration. It makes me feel like you were showing up with a love, but there's something off about it once again. Like you have a bad feeling about it, or there's something out of alignment or something out of balance. With the Lovers there and the King of Swords in reverse, I definitely feel like you're realizing something, like there's a decision that you're needing to make, because this could be that you're trying to make a decision without some kind of information that you feel like you need. But it can also represent somebody gaslighting you, somebody trying to manipulate you in some way, somebody trying to mess with your head, trying to mess with your heart, etc., or trying to trick you with something. Now, the theme for your reading is sacred space. So I'm not trying to sound dramatic, group 2, but it definitely makes me feel like there's somebody in your space, or that's trying to gain access to your space, or maybe even someone that you give very freely to that maybe just isn't the right fit, or it's somebody that maybe doesn't have your best interest at heart. With that sacred space there, you know, this is definitely all about you needing to make sure that you're standing with your morals and your values, and your true and honest to God beliefs about yourself, the beliefs that you hold dear. This is about protecting your peace and creating sanctuary for yourself regardless. So it definitely feels like, it doesn't feel like creativity. Of course it could be, but this feels more like love. You're definitely trying to show up very vulnerable, very honest, and very loving, especially with that cup that he's holding there. Under the Knight of Cups, you have the Dominance card. So, group 2, I feel like there's a power struggle with somebody. It makes me feel like somebody is trying to maybe trick you in some way to get you to show up in a loving and a sweet way. I feel like a lot of you, group 2, are a very loving, sweet, honest to God person. Since you picked the telephone, I feel like that's very symbolic of somebody who's very open, somebody who's easy to talk to, somebody who gives advice. I feel like you are probably that person. You guys are probably the person that lovers or that friends come to you for advice, almost like a therapist in some way. I'm kind of feeling that. And I feel like there's somebody here who knows about your giving nature and knows how sweet you are. And I feel like they're trying to gain power over you in some way. Now, keep in mind, group 2, that this doesn't mean that you have to give your power away. Somebody can take your power only if you give it to them. Under the Temperance in reverse, we have warning. Okay, so this pretty much solidifies it for me, group 2. I feel like somebody, once again, does not have your best interests at heart. This could be somebody who's a drug addict, an alcoholic, or somebody who it's just not in alignment. Somebody who's off balance, not even with you, but just within themselves. Somebody who's impatient, somebody who doesn't have any peace in their soul. And so I feel like this is kind of telling you, like, once again, group 2, protect your peace. Also, I want to say, being that you guys picked the telephone, be cautious of the information that you're giving to this person. You may feel like you love this person. You may feel like you can trust this person. And I totally get it. I'm also somebody who is quite vulnerable, who can be quite penetrable when it comes to my emotions. And so people will definitely take advantage of you if they feel like you're giving freely and they feel like you can be taken advantage of. So I don't mind you being vulnerable. I think that's great. You want to be vulnerable with people, absolutely, but make sure that you're keeping strong boundaries, especially if you have a gut feeling. I feel like you have this gut feeling about a person, and I feel like you need to listen to it. Under the Lovers is Wrath. So we have Dominance, Warning, Wrath. Wow. Wow. So this can be somebody who is going to try to pull you down to their level in some way. Wrath is about anger. Wrath is about not being able to control yourself. I feel like with this Dominance card, I feel like you are actually the one with all the power and you are the one with all the control. And that's why this person is acting like this. I feel like you're going to have somebody that is around you that is quite literally trying to penetrate your sacred space. Okay, maybe literally, maybe metaphorically, not trying to be gross. But I feel like this is somebody who's just unhappy with life, just simply unhappy with themselves. And it doesn't matter how much love you give this person. It just doesn't matter. People are unhappy with themselves because they're unhappy with themselves. It usually has nothing to do with us. And so people don't realize that, like, for instance, when it comes to black magic, right? Black magic is usually just the words that you speak, either hurting or helping other people. So whether that is for good, whether that is for bad, I feel like you have somebody here who is subconsciously spreading some negative black magic around, so to speak, not to sound corny. We have the King of Swords in reverse here, and it has trickery. I really find this interesting because when I shuffle these cards, I allowed the pop-outs. Of course, I've already seen all of these, so this is more just like surprise, right, for you. But I thought that this was very interesting. This is like Dominance, Warning, Wrath, Trickery. I did not pick these cards on my own. I swear to God, these came out on their own. So I was like, wow, I feel bad for group 2. I also want to say, for you guys to pick the telephone, I feel like you're going to get a message from somebody, or you're going to see something and you're going to realize what somebody told you isn't actually what they meant, or isn't actually what they did, or maybe somebody wasn't really where they were at when they said they were. I feel like this is something that you already know within your gut, though. I feel like you know this. I want you to be careful of somebody trying to gaslight you and your reality. I don't feel like this person has the best intentions. but this person knows that you do. And so I don't know. I mean, with that Nine of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles, I feel like as soon as you just like let this go and give up on this, I feel like another opportunity is going to come around that's going to be a lot more beneficial for you. So let's go ahead and clarify. Tell me about that Knight of Cups. A lot of you could be like creatives. A lot of you may have, oh wow, okay, so Four of Swords. So for some of you, if Five of Swords in reverse and the Magician, the Queen of Cups, I feel like this is you guys. So this is really interesting to me, group 2, because with that Knight of Cups and the Four of Swords, I feel like this is somebody from the past. Once again, not to sound like the cliche tarot reader, but I feel like this is somebody from the past. This is somebody that broke your heart, because what comes before the Four of Swords? Well, the Three of Swords. Well, what's the Three of Swords? It's heartbreak, it's sorrow, it's sadness. And so I feel like there's somebody here who maybe you're trying to make up with, and you guys may be the one that's taking action, but the problem is that I feel like this is exactly what this person wants. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. You are your own person, do your own thing, but this definitely makes me feel like this is exactly what somebody was doing. Like, if they were ignoring you or something like that, especially with that King of Swords in reverse, if they were, trying to post certain things on their social media or get certain people to like their posts or something like that, I feel like it was their main goal to try to reel you in and get you in. I feel like this is you. So remember when I was talking about how you're authentic and how you have a lot of love to give and you're somebody that's very vulnerable? I feel like your gift is quite literally love. Like, not to sound corny, but I know I keep saying that, but I feel like your gift is quite literally love. I don't think that you're here to play any games. Five of Swords in reverse. I feel like with the Queen of Cups and the Magician there, you have a lot of power. A lot of your power comes from your heart space. So let's go ahead and take a look here. I kind of want to get one more on that. Tell me about that dominance card. I usually don't clarify the oracles, but I kind of want to just because I'm curious. The Lovers. Wow, so you have the Lovers twice. The Emperor in reverse and the King of Cups in reverse. You could quite literally be dealing with a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or an Aries. Now, the King of Cups in reverse mixed with the Emperor in reverse, this is the type of person who will say whatever in order to gain control over you, in order to, get your vulnerability, in order to access your inner child in some way, in order to access your vulnerable energy. And I feel like you have to be careful because all this person is an abuser. This is somebody who's an emotional abuser, and I feel like they're going to use the love that you have for them against you, okay, group 2. So please be cautious with that. And with that temperance card in reverse, wow, the Hermit and the Empress, I feel like that's you, group 2. I feel like you are this self-owning, self-realized Empress kind of person, somebody who is sexy, somebody who's beautiful, somebody who's a creator, somebody who's very creative. I feel like this person just wants your energy. Like, who wouldn't want to be around somebody that is literally the Empress and the Hermit combined? This is somebody that is so certain of self. This is somebody that has a lot of self-awareness, has been through a lot of things, and I feel like this has made you really realize your own power and your self-worth. And if you remember at the bottom of the deck just a second ago, we had the Emperor in reverse. You are showing up as the Empress. So this makes me feel like there's like a false twin here, if you believe in that kind of thing, or there's somebody here who's trying to persuade you or manipulate you to make you think that they're on your level, but they're really not. You're actually the Empress. The Empress is the Queen of Pentacles. She is the Queen of Cups. She is the Queen of Swords. She is the Queen of Wands. She's literally all of the queens combined. And so this fake, the person who's the Emperor in reverse, is just an abuser, is just a user, somebody who's an emotional manipulator. And so I feel like you already know this. This is what this person wants. This is what this person wants to take from you, because I feel like this is a masculine that's actually quite jealous of you. And believe me, if it is absolutely possible. I have had plenty of boyfriends that have been jealous of me or tried to compete with me as if I was a male. So underneath that, you have there's that Three of Swords I was telling you about, the Three of Swords, the Ten of Wands, the Five of Wands. I feel like you have somebody here who wants to make it really, really hard for you to leave group 2. I feel like they're trying to make it harder on you. I feel like their ego is involved. I feel like they expect you to carry everything. They expect you to still show up. They expect you to still give them advice with that telephone energy that you picked. They still expect sex, or they still expect whatever it may be, your vulnerability, while they just create more havoc in your life. And I feel like that's why this sacred space card is so freaking valuable and is so important for the theme for your reading. You really have to make sure that you're setting up those boundaries and creating a space for yourself that nobody can penetrate. Can you tell me about that, Lovers, please? So I find it interesting that the Wrath card is under the Lovers energy. That is so like opposite. So I don't know. The Lovers is Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And so I know that Mercury is going into Scorpio. The Queen of Wands, excuse me. Wow. So I feel like somebody's jealous of you. I feel like this is this person. Eight of Cups in reverse with the Page of Swords. I feel like this person is watching you like a freaking hawk. I feel like this person's a little crazy. I feel like they're really immature. I think this person has low self-value and low self-worth, and maybe that's why they try to bring you down. Can you tell me about that Wrath card? The Five of Cups in reverse. This is kind of telling you, like, let this person be mad. Like, seriously, let this person be mad. What are they going to do about it, right? Let this person be pissed off. If you feel like you need to protect your peace and you feel like you have to remove yourself, then that's something that you should do. And so I feel like, group 2, this is about you just letting go of the past. It is what it is. This is about you not allowing somebody's anger or somebody's trickery or their power struggle or whatever it is infiltrate your energy or bring you down to a level that is just not conducive for your overall mental health and your overall emotional well-being. So this kind of saying like, you are that bitch or you are that guy. You know what I mean? Like, the Queen of Wands is the performer. The Queen of Wands is sexy. She or he is not afraid to express themselves and say exactly what they think. And it's not like she has to do it, she or he, right? This is not gender specific. It's not like she has to do it in some angry, throwing a chair across the room way. No, the Lovers is high vibrational. This is about speaking your truth with that Queen of Wands and being authentically you and asserting yourself and implementing those boundaries, like I said. And it's also about you connecting with your higher self because of it and you becoming more of a higher vibration so you can't even be touched. And so I want to go ahead and take a look at that King of Swords in reverse. Can you tell me about that King of Swords in reverse? Okay, give me one more. Give me one more for that King of Swords. The Eight of Wands. So once again, I feel like you guys are going to get some kind of communication from, once again, somebody from the past. The Judgment with the Ace of Swords there. This can be bringing something back to life. I feel like this is somebody who's not telling you the whole truth about something, group 2. And I feel like that because trickery is right here. So I'm not saying that they're not telling the truth with some things, but with a lot of the things, they're not telling the whole truth. And so I want you to really use your intuition when it comes to this, because this person is a liar. This is the King of Cups in reverse mixed with the Emperor in reverse. So this is the kind of person who's literally just going to say anything and everything to be able to get in your pants or to be able to get you to talk to them more with the telephone, right? So I feel like you're going to get a call. I feel like you're going to get a text or something like that. Oh, I'm still invested in you. I want to come see you. Eight of Wands, this could be somebody that's at a distance as well. I feel like this is also, there's that Mercury energy again. Mercury in Sagittarius is the Eight of Wands. And Mercury in Sagittarius, Mercury's in its fall in Sagittarius. So once again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Mercury in Sagittarius people. My best friend, my mother, and my daughter all have Mercury in Sagittarius. Yay for me, right? But these are people who can be very, very blunt. And I feel like they're just like, oh, like I want to invest in you. I want to do this. Like I want to have a new beginning with you, etc. But there's something going on behind the scenes that you can't see. Can you tell me what that is? The Page of Pentacles in reverse. This is somebody who really doesn't have to offer you. Not really. This is somebody who still has a lot of maturing to do. This is somebody who's a manipulator. This could be somebody who's ghosted you before or somebody who has just manipulated you before into believing something. For some of you, this person may have this like passive aggressive way of making you feel less than. I really want you guys to be careful about that. The theme of this is sacred space. So only allowing people that you know are genuine into your sacred space. You have to create like this force field around you, number 2. And also, I want to say with that telephone icon that you picked, say less and observe more. Okay. So group 2, thank you so much. Please listen to this message before we move on to group 3, and I'll see you next time. Bye. If you are interested in becoming a more personalized part of my channel, or you're interested in my private Discord, make sure that you click the link below where it says become a more personalized part of my channel with Gigastar. And if you are interested in tarot decks, spell jars, and or crystals, you can visit my website at www.violettaalexis.com, where I also offer personal readings. And if you are not, make sure that you are following me on Instagram and Twitter. That information can be found down below. Hi. All right, so if you picked the suitcase, then that means you are group 3. So let's go ahead and take a look at your cards. All right, group 3. So we have the shadow self, the dream catcher in reverse, the 9 of swords in reverse, and the 6 of cups in the upright. Immediately, what I felt from this group 3 was that you guys have a lot of baggage, especially since it's the suitcase. So I'm feeling like there's a lot of baggage, or even that you guys have had to absorb other people's crap and other people's baggage. I'm feeling like there's something about you guys going through a lot in your childhood and going through a lot in your life, which has created some kind of very heavy shadow side of you. But the thing is that for some of you, you view it as a negative. Like maybe you have felt like you lack empathy in some way now for humanity or for a lot of people because of how you were treated. Now, a lack of empathy isn't necessarily always a bad thing. I am not telling you to treat anybody bad or not have empathy for people, but sometimes you need to be more logical. You need to have more grit in order to get through life. And I feel like life's trials and tribulations have kind of made you that way. Like those trials and tribulations have molded you in some way. I see that we have the dream catcher in reverse. I find that interesting that it's in reverse because it almost makes me feel like once again, instead of this dream catcher catching the negativity, it's almost like people put it on you, like people's own crap, people not wanting to own up to their own things and basically using you as a scapegoat in some way. The 9 of swords in reverse is here, which is telling me that you're not really worried about it. You're not really staying up at night, sweating it, etc. I don't know why, but I'm getting on that 6 of cups like you are the chosen one in some way. I know that sounds so stupid, but that's what I'm getting. You know, I was just looking at this little spell jar that I've had here, and this really makes me feel like, because this is a spell that I did for money, and so I was actually supposed to send this to a friend and I never did, so I'm really, really sorry. But I do sell some of these on my website if you want to check them out on violettaalexis.com. But anyway, I feel like you guys are going to make money with something. Like all your trials and all your tribulations, like there's finally going to be a reason. Like I'm not saying that you guys are materialistic. I'm not saying that you guys care about money or whatever. Like I feel like everybody should care about money considering the life that we are living and the world that we're in. But whatever it is, all I want to say is I feel like there's a reason. I don't want you guys to look at all the things that you've been through and be like, oh my God, what was the freaking reason? Like, what is the point of this? There is a purpose to it, and you're going to see that. The theme of your reading is movement. Now, I also find this interesting. I'm going to tell you why. So movement in this deck holds the fire energy. This talks about taking slow and methodical steps in order to get what it is that you want. You see how this snake is kind of like protecting this egg here? I feel like there's something that you're needing to protect. There's some kind of path or purpose that is like very sewn to you and not anyone else. It's something that's like, I don't know if you're a star seed. I don't know what it is, but there's something that's very solo to you on an individual level where you were almost handpicked. The other thing that I want to say is I find this interesting that we have the expansion here and the theme is the snake or the movement card. And then we have a snake shedding its skin at the bottom of the deck and the sacred fire is in reverse. There's something about this where you are about to hit some kind of glow up, and it's because of the trials and the tribulations that you've been through. It's because you've been scapegoated and tormented by someone or people. Maybe it was your family. For some of you, I'm getting you had a really negative relationship with your mother or possibly a father figure. Like maybe you were the family scapegoat, or maybe you feel like a lot of the times in your relationships, people didn't want to take accountability, whether that's friendships, whether that's love, romantic relationships. And so you found that you had to kind of absorb people's crap because they couldn't man up or woman up to accept their own crap. You have the Weaver. Interesting. So you have the Weaver under the shadow self. So this is making me feel like Don't look at your shadow self as an enemy, group 3. Look at your shadow self as something that you can utilize to weave your own fate. The weaver is the master of destiny. You are the master of your own destiny at this time. This is about what needs to be cut, what needs to be manipulated, not in a bad way, but what needs to be manipulated in order to suit you, in order to kind of win your favor in some way, in order to add to your life. This is about you needing to take action on something and realizing that you have a lot more control than you think. If people have scapegoated you, or if people have made you feel bad in any kind of way, or they just always mistreated you or bullied you, a lot of you were bullied in 8th grade or bullied in middle school or maybe high school. But I'm feeling with this dream catcher in reverse, this makes me feel like this is no more. You absorbing, people's crap is no more. That's over with. The warrior. So yeah, I feel like you guys are the chosen ones. Some of you have Aries in your chart somewhere. I would take a look to see where that is in your natal chart, so it could maybe kind of point you in the right direction. But a lot of you guys are warriors. You don't have to put up with people's crap. You don't have to absorb other people's mistakes. That's just the beginning of your path, but that's not where it's going to lead you. That's not going to be your destiny. And I feel like you guys will understand why this had to happen. This is all about taking action, and sometimes, you know, the warrior can also talk about needing to make sacrifices in some way. So maybe these sacrifices that you unintentionally had to make are actually in your highest good, but you're not going to see that until later. I feel like you guys have dealt with a lot of enemies in your life, a lot of people that have tried to screw you over, have screwed you over, bullied you, tormented you. Some of you were assaulted in some way before. And I feel like you guys are the true starseeds, or you guys are the true warriors in life. You are here to kind of show people that your present or your past doesn't always have to be your future. And so I feel like you guys are going to be some kind of leaders in some way, especially with the Weaver and the Warrior. These are like the major arcanas in this Oracle deck. And then under the 9 of Swords in reverse, we have the Magician, or the Magi, or the Magi, whatever you want to call it. So this is about you looking deeper into something. This is about what in your life, what are you telling yourself that really molds your perspective of life and what you can accomplish and what you can have and who you genuinely are. This Magician tells me that you are quite literally the weaver of your own fate. You are the warrior. You are the one that has the tricks up your sleeve. You are that person. And I feel like God has really given you these weapons, so to speak, of mass destruction, but they're good weapons. It's something that you're maybe realized later on in life. I feel like a lot of you guys have a very special connection to somebody in your childhood. I feel like a lot of you guys felt very misunderstood in your childhood in some way with that 6 of Cups, like people didn't understand you, or you were the black sheep in some way. And this is called the reuniting water hole. And so for a lot of you, I feel like this is you maybe reuniting with a relative, or reuniting with your old inner child, or something like that. I feel like something is coming up. And then we have the universe. So this talks about, okay, group 3, there's a plan for you. Stop freaking out about it. There's a cycle coming to a close, and there's a sense of you really needing to trust yourself. I want you to think about back when you were a child, and the things that really drove you, the things that really made you happy. And I think that there's like something, there's like a key or something like that in your childhood that is going to be very relevant. Like, it just makes me feel like there was like something that was imprinted on you since the day that you were born, or before you were born. I know that sounds so weird, but that's what it makes me feel like. Like there was some kind of imprint, you know, like, I'm not trying to be corny, but like Batman, or, you know, or Spider-Man, who knows, right? Captain freaking America. I don't know, but that's what it feels like. And so especially with that sacred fire in reverse in the expansion, I feel like you're getting ready to have some kind of glow up. This is like the person that's been imprisoned for years, right? Like, who didn't even deserve it. And then finally like breaks out, and like everybody feels bad for them, right? Not saying that you want people to feel bad for you, but we have the King of Swords in reverse and the shadow self. So I'm not gonna lie, this makes me feel like This makes me feel like you guys and your shadow self, I feel like you are really, really good at playing tricks on people. Like mentally, I feel like you guys are highly intelligent. I feel like this is your strength. You guys probably have a lot of mental abilities that other people do not. You're also probably very creative. You are chaos. You are chaotic creative. I mean, that's what creativity is, isn't it? It is chaos. And with that tower there, I'm wondering if for some of you with the shadow self and then with the dream catcher in reverse and the snake, the two snakes here and the tower, for some of you, you definitely have like Aries or especially Scorpio placements. If you don't, that's fine, but it's giving me that energy. And what is scorpionic energy? Well, scorpionic energy is all about death and transformation and change. And so it makes me feel like there's something about you, like you guys are able to take something that is so awful or so horrible, and you guys are able to transmute it into something beautiful. Like if you guys go through a really, really tough time, maybe you write a song and then it's like so freaking awesome. Or maybe you guys went through a really rough childhood and then you wrote a gorgeous book or something like that, or maybe you will. And so, like I said, I feel like it's not for nothing. Like all the stuff that you've been through, it's not for nothing. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that you guys have dealt with a lot more enemies than most people. Just with all of this energy, it really gives me warrior vibes. It gives me soldier vibes. And there's a reason why. There's something that was imprinted in your DNA when it comes to the why did I almost heard the two of you. I heard the two of you. The two of you. Why did I hear the two of you? I don't know if I'm here. I don't know if there's somebody that you feel like is a twin flame or a soulmate or a best friend or somebody that died, maybe that you feel very tied to, that's very much a part of your path. Maybe this person has a similar destiny and maybe that's why you connect so well. That's what it makes me feel like. And there's something about you being the creator of all of this, like you being the front of line in some way. So let's go ahead and take a look at the dream catcher in reverse. The dream catcher in reverse, I feel like this is about you not absorbing other people's crap anymore. I feel like a lot of you had a lot of fake friends, a lot of fake family members. For some of you, you had like an aunt or a mother or a sister or some kind of feminine relative in your life that really took it out on you, that really took out their anger, took out their frustrations. I feel like this is somebody, because the Queen of Swords in reverse is somebody who doesn't even think before they speak. This is somebody who's overly emotional, no logic, no sense. They just say whatever they're thinking at the time, and sometimes I end up regretting it later. These are people that are very, very crass, 10 of Cups in reverse, not emotionally supportive, not showing you any kind of love, just taking their anger out on you constantly. I feel like you guys are going to find some kind of group or something like that. Like, I don't know, maybe you guys end up joining some kind of therapy group, or maybe you end up joining some kind of writing group, or maybe you join YouTube, whatever it may be, and you create some kind of following or some kind of audience, or you have people that view you as a leader, or they're going to view you as a leader because there's something where you may have taken a lot of beatings like in your life. I'm getting 12th house energy. Maybe you had a lot of hidden enemies or 7th house open enemies. I don't know. I'm definitely getting 12th house energy though, where it's like you never saw it coming, or the people that you trusted the most, you never saw it coming, and they ended up like snaking you in some way. And with that warrior there's something about you. I'm getting Aries again. There's something about you where it's like you were the one that was given this life because you were one of the few that could handle it. That's what it makes me feel like. And it's because you're supposed to be some kind of leader for whoever these people are. I feel like people are going to be looking up to you, group 3. And with that suitcase that you chose, because you did choose the suitcase, I'm kind of feeling like this baggage that maybe you've held on to, I feel like you're going to take the baggage and you're basically just going to pile it on top of each other and use it as a ladder to get to the top. And now I heard it's lonely at the top. So a lot of you guys are going to have some kind of success, but it's going to feel lonely in some way. So, sorry, I keep looking at my cat over there. I know she's just about to do something stupid. So tell me about that 9 of Swords. So we have the Nine of Swords in reverse to the Knight of Swords in reverse. This is so interesting because it's right under the Magician. So it kind of makes me feel like you don't really need to confront anything. You don't really need to do much work. I feel like the universe is just kind of working for you, not even necessarily with you. Although, of course, absolutely, I believe that that is a thing because you're putting in the effort of some sort. But I feel like the world is working for you. Like, it kind of reminds me of like Mars and Capricorn. Maybe some of you guys have that maybe some of you guys have that placement, but Mars and Capricorn, Mars is exalted in Capricorn. And so Mars is the god of war, right? And once again, Mars rules Aries. But with Mars and Capricorn, because it's exalted, instead of like you working for the god of war, it's like the god of war working for you. And I feel like a lot of your life path has been around conflict and hardship and just destruction. And so I think that a lot of you had to deal with that a lot in your life, especially since childhood. Maybe you guys even had like a hard birth or something like that, or dealt with a lot of death or whatever it is. But I feel like you're not even worried about something, especially with that Magician there. It's literally like the god of war is just working the god of war is literally just working for you. It's almost like you don't even have to freaking lift a finger, group 3. It's so interesting. And so I feel like there's something that's going to come about when it comes to this. And then you have the Six of Cups again at the bottom of the deck. So Ace of Cups and the Six of Cups, I feel like you're going to be reunited with somebody. Or I would also pay attention to your dream state. I'm getting the 12th house again. Pay attention to your dream state and see who kind of comes in and visits you in your dream state. Pay attention to your dreams at this time. Some of you have grown up with some kind of nightmares, or maybe you're dealing with some nightmares now, or somebody from your past maybe has shown up in a dream, or maybe they will. But it seems like there's something from your childhood, like something that was imprinted on you before you were even born, where it was like you were the one that was going to have to deal with this life in the beginning. But it's like, what do they say? It's like the more thorns the vine has, the bigger the fruit, or something like that at the end. So I feel like just keep climbing this vine and use the thorns as a stepping stool, as a ladder to get that fruit, basically, group 3. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups with the Strength card. Interesting. So once again, I feel like this is just simply imprinted on you. I think that some of you had also a very strong masculine figure in your life, or for some of you with a masculine figure that has passed over. I feel like this person is very much watching after you. I want to say, don't let your dreams die, group 3. I don't know why I'm getting that, but I feel like there's something that maybe you dropped a long time ago, or an old belief that you had as a child that you just dropped because maybe people beat it out of you, or people, beat the crap out of you, either literally or metaphorically. But what it has done, it has actually strengthened you. It hasn't calloused you and made you spiteful and angry. It has actually strengthened you in these ways where most people would have died, or most people would have just been like, I give up, right? But with that Universe card, this is all part of the plan for you. And so I'm feeling like you guys are going to have some kind of really, really, really big glow up, where you're going to be looking back at your childhood, or you're going to be looking back at the past and you're like, oh my God, I remember back then when I wanted to be here so bad. And I feel like that's what's kind of happening with you. And I'm not sure what it is that you guys are getting ready to do, but the theme for your reading is be slow, be methodical, and don't use your baggage as a means to just like fall into a snake abyss where you just get eaten up and spit out. This is more so using that baggage as a ladder. And so I feel like your chaos, the chaos that you've been through, is not really your downfall. It's actually how you're going to get to the top in some way. And so with that Sacred Fire in reverse and that expansion, this is making me feel like something's getting ready to burn down. Your enemies, I feel like, once again, the God of War is working for you. You don't have to work for the God of War. I feel like universe has your back. I feel like God has your back with something. So if you're fighting some enemies right now, ones that either, are perceived, or maybe in the physical realm, or maybe even the 5D, whatever it may be, it's going to be exposed to you. And I feel like this is going to transform you into some kind of leader. I don't feel like anybody has ever really had it like you. I think that this is something that is very unique to you and like a small group of people. I feel like you're a very, very unique individual. The Four of Swords and the Hangman in reverse, this is 12th house. I feel like a lot of you guys are a healer in some way. And you were given these, I know it sucks, but you guys were given these trials and tribulations because you can handle it, because you're supposed to be put in some kind of position of authority, which you will. So group 3, thank you so much. Make sure that you listen to this quick message before you go. I love you and the best of luck to you. Bye. If you are interested in becoming a more personalized part of my channel, or you're interested in my private Discord, make sure that you click the link below where it says become a more personalized part of my channel with Gigastar. And if you are interested in tarot decks, spell jars, and or crystals, you can visit my website at www.violettaalexis.com, where I also offer personal readings. And if you are not, make sure that you are following me on Instagram and Twitter. That information can be found down below.